Well, we hope you see this episode.
Yes. Philosophical differences with Frazier and McDermott. I think what happens now is you lose Tre White. I'm just going to come out of the gate swinging.
Sure.
Frazier wants to cause turnovers. McDermott wants to cause 3 and outs. I said what I said.
Well,
I said what I said.
Hashtag Sports is proud to partner with Mr. Rogers Homes. Sean Rogers is a proud Western New Yorker and is now your Arizona relocation specialist. You can see his reviews as a top 1% agent on Zillow, Homes, and Trulia.com. Go ahead and download his free Arizona relocation guide found in the description of this video. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, and, as Sean would say, God bless America and go Bills.
For you, 3 and outs are a turnover.
It might be for McDermott, too. Like, he wants to rush 4, sit 7 back, get you in 3rd and long, hopefully cause a turnover. If not, hey, we got Stevenson back there.
All right, well, let's just unpack that real quick, right? So that's how I agree. That's how McDermott typically likes to play, likes to put as many guys 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage as possible, right?
Yeah.
Keep the game in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? With the teams you're going against, the next 6 games.
That's what they love to do. They love to nickel and dime you.
Right. You got the Patriots. They can't push the ball downfield. The Bucs can push the ball downfield. So I think that's sort of a different conversation. Carolina can't push the ball downfield. What? Oh, they got A.J. Brown and Chris Godwin, and you're telling me they can't push the football down the field. I know it's Brady.
Are those 2 leading the league in receiving? Remind me of that again. Freaking 8-yard passing tree followed him down to Tampa. Jesus Christ. I hate him so much.
The look you gave me made me want to put those words back in my mouth, but I have to own it at this point.
I hate him so much. God.
You know why? You know what would have made me happy?
To
see Sammy Watkins sign in Tampa. Do you know why?
Because he's the perfect receiver for Brady?
No, because it would have killed the Bucs. It would have died. Do you know why?
Why?
Because Sammy Watkins hasn't run a yard since catching a football in the last 6 years. Stop, drop, and roll. That's it. Anyway, the teams that you're playing against coming up, of the majority of them, you can keep the game in front.
Yes, true.
But now that you lose Tre, do you have that flexibility to be able to be patient like that? And I think that patient defense is frustrating to us as fans, right? Because we see 8, 10-yard, 10-play drives, and they may only result in, they may result in a punt, they may result in a field goal, but they're frustrating to us as fans.
Not that the Bills will do this, and I don't think Frazier and McDermott will fall victim to it, but you have to address the elephant in the room of the loss of Tre White. So in doing so, what suffers? Perhaps your run defense.
Yeah.
Fournette,
God, can it?
Fournette,
you can't sacrifice your run defense coming up.
No, but my point, what I'm saying though is my point is these teams may institute a very old school philosophy and then run to set up the play action pass. And when you try to sell out against the run because you're getting killed with it,
right? And
you don't have Tre White back there to recover, what's going to happen? So you may see some big plays come out of this.
Yeah.
Against the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to say it does because, I had a quote. I tweeted it out on the Bird app.
On the tweet machine?
On the tweet machine. I think Tre White, the loss of Tre White is bigger than Josh Allen. Tre White on the defense is bigger a loss than Allen is on the offense because this is how I looked at it. Obviously, you got a lot of valuable guys there. I equate Hyde and Poyer to Diggs and Sanders. Why are Hyde and Poyer so good? It's when Tre's on the money. He can
go hunt.
Yeah, because he can effectively shut down half the field for you. You don't have to play a safety over the top of him a lot of times.
Right.
So you can delegate that stuff to Wallace on the other side. Plus, it lets your linebackers run free. When Allen is off, he's off, and the offense struggles and this and that. Look at how valuable this defense has been to this football team this year.
I will safely say that I've never seen Tre ever look as bad as Marshawn Lattimore did.
Oh my God.
He looked terrible.
He abused him. Like
that Dawson Knox touchdown was because Lattimore's foul.
I was waiting.
It's a dome.
I know they were playing the Saints, but I was waiting for Tyrann Mathieu to be like this.
LeBron.
I know it's a bold statement to make, but he allows you to do so many more things with that defense.
All right, so let me ask you this, right? So because McDermott's defense, that philosophy does take a hit by losing Tre.
Yes.
Right?
His first pick
does that mean
McDermott ever made was Tre White.
Was Tre White.
So that shows you how important.
Right, but does that mean that the Bills have more flexibility because you have Frazier? Right? Does that make them able to absorb, to absorb the loss of Tre? Because again, philosophically, Frazier loves to bring pressure, loves to leave guys in man, and you try and generate turnovers that way. Whereas McDermott wants to just cover things up. He wants to limit the possibilities. Whereas Frazier's saying, no, go ahead. We're gonna trust our player in a one-on-one setting to win. That's what we're going to do. We're going to trust our player in a one-on-one setting to win.
For me, when I watch it and how I've seen McDermott's defenses over the years, is they want to keep everything in front of them. They don't want to they don't want to give up the big play.
Right.
They want to, if you're going to score, it's going to be 11-play drive.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's not a loss to McDermott. That's, okay, you earned that. Our defense is a little gassed. Let's regroup. What do we do? Because McDermott likes playing base a lot, not really doing too many exotic blitzes. Like, if you can think of the antithesis of Rex Ryan, that's what McDermott is. Because if you line up in base and you still beat the shit out of somebody, they don't know what to do. Like, they're not doing anything that we're not accounting for. They're just beating us.
Right.
Frazier is of the mindset where he wants to try to generate pressure, odd man's fronts, do this, twists, stunts, all that stuff. In my mind, that's how it works with both of them. So, the way I envision it, it's like McDermott is Coach Yost, and Leslie Frazier is Herman Boone. Like when he walks in at halftime, remember the Titans, he goes, "I can use your help. Ed Henry's kicking my ass." I see. Frazier's philosophy has to be the one you institute now to win. I don't think you can. McDermott's, okay, I'm going to play rush 4, drop 7. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's too complacent.
It is.
I think it's too complacent.
Because, and having Tre allowed you to do that and play that type of defense. Tre not being there anymore is you have to tilt the scales of your philosophy to Frazier, blitzing, odd man pressures, mix up your coverages, do a bunch of different things. Line up 11 guys on the front. If they go 4 wide, put 11 guys in the box. Like, you're covered, and then you put 7 guys across the line. What's a rookie quarterback going to do? He doesn't know who's blocking who's coming, who's not. Let's do that. I've never seen that yet.
Yeah, but the question is, how sustainable is that for another 6 games?
In short bursts, it's amazing because no one's seen it yet.
Okay.
What has the Buffalo Bills? Let's transfer this over to the offense. When the Buffalo Bills offense does something that they haven't done in 2020, what happens?
No, that's successful.
Yeah. So this defense has been playing together for 80 games.
Right. Well, and I think that's sort of the narrative, right? Is the defense should be able to adapt to almost anything because most of these guys have been around forever. Yes. Look, Dane Jackson, it's not his first year. He's been around. He should be able to step in. This is why you carry as many defensive backs as you do, because if you're not willing to play them, if you have to sign somebody because you're not willing to play the guys on your roster, then what are they doing there in the first place?
That's a great point.
Right? You've got 12 defensive backs on this team. I mean, you don't, but you have 3 guys on your practice squad plus 2 guys that have been inactive the last 2 games, right? They're on your roster for a reason. You have to use them now. This is the time where you need to trust that you built your roster to absorb this loss. And that's why, but that's the one thing with Bean specifically that has always frustrated me a little bit, is I've never felt like we were really prepared for loss, right? you lose Tremaine, and then you have AJ Klein, I guess, right? You lose Milano, where do you go from here? You got Dodson, I guess.
Poyer.
But that's not fair.
No, what I'm saying
You
is
know?
that's in short bursts. That's what they did.
Right.
You put Poyer down in the box for like 6 plays a game.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
I mean-
you're depending on, you probably have Jaquan Johnson, active. And they
But
got
that's what
Tyler
Levi
Jaquan.
allowed you to do. If you lost Milano, so you can bring Poyer down and not worry about it. But you're right. He's always big on insurance policies. Well, you're gonna have to freaking fill some of them out right now.
Yeah, this is yep. You have enough defensive backs on this roster that you have to believe in one of them. You just won. Just
Yeah.
one of them. Like, I thought Nick McLeod played great in the preseason. But we know how preseason is. It's preseason.
But let's circle this back though. For the teams that you're gonna have to face.
Yeah.
The philosophy of McDermott versus Frazier. And we might be talking, this may be completely irrelevant because it might have been Frazier's philosophy the whole time. We don't know. But let me just say this. If you had the blitz and you have Levi Wallace, Dane Jackson, and Teron Johnson covering the 3 wide receivers of any team, let's look at this. The Patriots, I think they'd be okay because I don't see any huge wide receiver.
Jacoby Myers is a very good wide receiver,
Oh.
but he's a possession guy.
Exactly.
So he's gonna stay in front of you.
My point is, what do you like? I'm talking about terrifying levels here.
Okay.
The Bucks terrified with their receiving core. If you
Yeah.
had to
Oh,
leave
I
those
agree.
3 guys on islands, I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, I agree.
The Falcons, Pitts is going to give you some trouble. Patterson may give you a little bit of trouble.
Right, but neither of those are Trey's problems.
Yeah, none of those are trades. You got Carolina, Moore, and Robbie Anderson. I'm not. Okay. Not work. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
the game's coming up. The problem's going to be when and if the Buffalo Bills make the playoffs. And I did say if because this is how this channel rolls. Like,
I think it's
scary
fair
right
to call it. Fair to call it the way that it is. So I look at it this way: specific to New England, they are first, second, third, fourth in the league in fumbles.
now. Really?
I did the same thing.
That's what happens when you put air in the ball.
Yep, there we go. But it also is the product of inexperienced players, right? Players that this is the turn and burn. James White's not going to fumble.
Oh, no.
Right.
I would love to see the statistics of who has fumbled and if they're still on the roster. Because Belichick doesn't play.
He doesn't play like
No,
that.
he
Yeah.
doesn't.
But, I look at it this way. Your Rousseau pick was typical Frazier.
That's a Frazier, yeah.
Your mashup pick was typical McDermott, the opposite side, right? So you were built for both sides of this argument.
Yes.
Now the question is, where do you go from here? I have to believe that McDermott's going to trust his coordinator because that's why he's got a job. He's going to trust his coordinator.
With the level of expectation, it seems fair that he would put the responsibility on Frazier. Because then he could say to Pagula,
I think if Buffalo doesn't make the playoffs, ooh.
I'm not jumping the gun on that, but we've seen coordinators scapegoated for less.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
Marty Schottenheimer went 14-2 and lost the playoffs, and they fired him. It's like, we've seen. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm not saying that he's going to get fired. I'm not saying it, but this is the business side of it that we start to really talk about. Buffalo Bills have had a solid defense all year. I was questioning their playoff aspirations, even with Trey in the line.
Yeah.
Because I see if they went 4-2 over the next 6 games, you can make the playoffs.
Yep.
I think you can make the playoffs, depending on what other teams do. But you got to go 5-1 in the division.
Yep.
You got to do it. So,
There's a lot here, Mark.
there's
And I don't know what they're going to do. I think that's the craziest thing. They're capable of doing all of it
yes.
or none of it. That's what's so crazy to me is
I
we could get this really hyper aggressive and down and distance situations teams that give up huge plays or we could see this vanilla 7-8 play drives the whole game.
Listen,
You know, we don't know.
They're 7-4. They did exactly what you did with Hughes and limited his snap count. So the snaps that he's on the field, he's more effective.
Yeah.
Now it's time to cash in because you're not going to have him next year.
No.
Burn him to the ground. Put him in there 60-70% of the time. Put Oliver in there 67% and put Rousseau in there 67%. You want to rotate Basham. You want to rotate Starr. You want to rotate those guys in there that hopefully eat bodies for you. Great. Put those guys in there. Let them hunt. Play some man. Bring some pressure. Do more of Frazier and less of McDermott right now. Please, for the love of God. And then if it doesn't work, McDermott has his scapegoat.
Because it was
Frazier's philosophy. And then, but the key to that is this. You're going to give opponents, they're going to be like, wait a minute, hold on. We thought you were going to rush 4 and drop 7. What the hell are you doing here?
Right.
You're going to give them doubt entering the playoffs of what defense they're going to play.
You'll full Belichick the first time.
Not second. Nope.
You're not going to fold the second time.
That's why I always predict a split with them. We'll see. I don't know.